Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly episode of Everything Vaguely Paranormal. As always, I am Blake Smith, and with me are my partners in the paranormal, Miss Shelley Pruitt and Mr. Ryan Roberts. How are y'all doing?
I am excited, nervous, and ready for this episode, I think.
You think.
I think.
I'm doing nervous. We've done this before.
Yeah, I know, but I know our commenters, and I know the kind of things that they're going to ask, but I'm ready for them. Ask me anything.
That's true. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm still recovering from Phenomenon. So I'm a little loopy. So let's see what happens tonight. It was so fun. It was so amazing.
Yeah, you can hear about all of our adventures at Phenomenon on the pre-broadcast that we just got through doing before this live broadcast. And so
we'll
now
probably talk about it on the post-broadcast too, because we didn't even get to half the stories.
No, there was a hell of a lot more that happened over this last week. So yes, it is time for our biannual. How often do we do this? Do we have it
once
down
a year?
Yet?
It's once a year usually.
I think so, yeah.
But yes, tonight is our live Q&A. So they're already saying, remember, you asked for these questions, Shelley.
We did ask for these, so I'm here for it.
Yeah.
As long as it is not on a tax return, I will answer it.
Absolutely. So this is where you submit your questions into the comments and we will make sure we flag them. We will try to get to as many as we possibly can tonight. I can't guarantee that every single one of them will get answered because a lot of y'all like to throw in a lot of questions, which we appreciate, but then the list becomes very, very long. And we would love to hang out with y'all for 6+ hours answering them all, but we understand that people have to sleep. We don't,
like
but
me. Actually, I don't sleep. That's okay.
No.
If you really want to know something, message me. I'll answer it.
Yeah.
Watch my inbox. Ding, 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 ding. Shit.
R.I.P. your inbox.
No.
All right, so we're actually going to go ahead and kick it off with the first question that has been asked, which is...
Already? Okay.
What was the strangest experience you had this year?
Oh, man, that's tough.
Oh, calendar year, or are we talking from
2025?
2025. The strangest experience of this year. That's a good choice. That's Chad Wandell. Thank you, Chad Wandell. Ghost Geeks. Guys, what was yours? I'm trying to come up with one, and we've had a lot of strange ones.
I can go first on this one. I think the strangest experience I had this year was actually at Waverly Hills Sanatorium with Chad Wandell.
Okay.
We were on the 3rd floor and we saw a dude he was out of his room in the hallway in a night like a medical gown, and we could see him. We were looking dead at him and he was looking dead at us, and then he slowly walked into his room, and then we started hearing a woman humming a tune. So that was pretty damn crazy. I think that's the strangest thing that's happened to me this year.
Okay.
Okay. How about you, Blake?
I would have to say the strangest thing that has happened and is still happening to me is this. Okay, I'll just come clean about it because I have a hard time being very blunt about everything that's going on with me. But is the amount of things that I am now seeing and hearing. For me, I have always seen something in my house, but the more that I work with mediumship abilities and things like that, these figures that I see walk past these doorways and stuff like that are now starting to slow down. And I'm starting to see a bit more detail. So like clothes moving, like there's a lady that wears a skirt. I can see the skirt moving. At Phenomenon, I heard my name audibly called 4 times when nobody else was around. So that's got to be the strangest things for me that I'm trying to begin to process and work through and try to understand a bit more, is this opening of abilities as I lean harder into learning what exactly mediumship is all about.
And I'm going to say the strangest experience that I've had this year, and it actually didn't happen to me. It was me happening to someone else. 2 separate times I've gotten phone calls from actually Chad Wandell while he was at Old Park saying, I just saw you walk across out of the room into Jenny's room at the top of the stairs in the Old Park Hotel. He's like, are you thinking about it? The one time he calls me, he's like, get your ass here. He goes, I just freaking saw you. But the strange part about that was I showed up in things I don't normally wear. Normally I would wear a black shirt and jeans. I showed up in a blue shirt and shorts. And Chad said he didn't think he'd ever seen me in shorts before. And that was actually what I was wearing when I showed up that night. That's what he had seen me dressed in at the top of the stairs when we saw my doppelganger. Then when we went to Wisconsin, he and Leslie send me a video message saying, "What the hell? We both just saw you in the same place at the top of the stairs, walk across the top of the stairs." They're like, "What are you doing? Are you talking about us? Are you thinking about us?" And that's not even the first 2 or 3. Actually, there's been 3 or 4 times my doppelganger's been singing the old Poke Hotel whenever I was not even there. So that's probably, it's strange that it's related to me. It didn't actually happen to me, but it does freak me out when I get the phone call and say, "We just saw your doppelganger here." and I asked Chad, I said, "Wait a minute, was it hair up or hair down?" And he said cheerleader ponytail, hair up, which is the way I wear it on investigations, but normally I wear it down otherwise, unless I'm traveling. Then I don't want to do my hair or something. So yeah, that's probably the strangest thing. Oh, you're giggling. That's always bad.
Oh no, I was just giggling at your answer. Like nothing bad. Yeah. So, okay. So that was a good way to kind of kick it off, and kind of to tie into that. Our actual next question is going to be about experiences as well, and I think we can all kind of sum this one up pretty well. But have you ever had an experience you could not explain?
All the time.
Yeah, I think that's why we're in this field. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think that's why we're in this field is we all have these situations that we don't understand. We're looking for the answers for them. And so when we experience whatever it is, we run the gamut of questions of trying to eliminate, naturally occurring phenomena or write out just full out explanations for things. And only when we can't, and neither one of the 3 of us can figure out anything that can 100% be what it is, that's when we're like, yep, that's kind of paranormal. And that's when we kick it to Chad Wandell over at Ghost Geese. We're like, dude, can you think of anything?
Well, I have one for that one. And this one, you probably heard me tell it on the pre-broadcast. The very first time that I ever went to Waverly Hills, Ryan was telling me some information on the way up, and I suddenly just got overwhelmed with this sense of just compassion, sadness. Even like just talking about it, I've already got chill bumps all over my arm. Just that her name is mentioned. We went with the tour, and they were talking about how an apparition had been caught in a door. And of course, I can't stay with the group. I wandered away, and one of the tour guides followed me over, and he says, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "But there's something going on in this room." I said, "And I feel compelled to go in." He yells at the guy leading the tour. He goes, "She just found the room." And it's Lois Higgs' room at Waverly. And every time I go in there, I get so, even just talking about her, I get so overwhelmed with this just sadness, compassion. And when we did a round, a 360, an EVP round robin, which is where everyone asks the same question, she didn't answer anybody. But I said, "Lois, are you here?" That was the question everyone was asking. And she answered me. And she said, "I'm here in the door." And that feeling I can't explain. I have no idea. I'd never been before. And every time I go back, just right now, every time I even talk about her, there is something that I feel so connected to her about, and I can't explain that. Don't get that in every location, but with her, it's so strong that that's my one that I can't explain why.
I mean, I can vouch for Shelly. Like every time that woman's name is mentioned, Shelly just goes to pieces every single time. And then she's doing a good job of holding it together right now, thankfully. But she goes to pieces. I can actually give you an example of this one too. The one that, like, one of the ones that absolutely just blows my mind and I cannot figure out was the CE5 experience we had with Andrea Perrin from the Conjuring House.
That's very good.
Yes.
And Rupert Guy.
Right. So, and Rupert Guy, we were at Metacon in 2022. It was a couple years ago. We were in Kansas City. I believe
so.
And we all know Andrea Perrin from the Conjuring House. But I did not know that she was really into UFOs and aliens and all that stuff too. So she invites us out onto the front lawn of the hotel. And she's like, "Okay, you guys stay here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to call down my space brothers, my galactic family." She walks away from us and she starts singing Frank Sinatra to the sky. Now, it was an overcast night that night, but then we start seeing all of these clusters of lights moving together. They start showing up. And then I happen to turn around, and out from behind the corner of the hotel, this craft comes moving about this slow. And I'm watching it, and it increases speed and just goes and shoots off into the night sky. Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, please, for the love of God, let somebody else have seen this. And I'm not the only one that saw this thing. But I think our friend Linda Hilliard actually saw it too. And there were 5 other people behind us that saw it. And there was a lady that was kind enough to snap a picture of it and confirm what I saw. Now, I cannot explain that. I don't know how in the world she called that down. That's the one that just like, because my logical brain is saying that's bullshit. There's no way. But I know what my eyes saw. I know
we
exactly
all had
what
experiences that on
did.
that, and that I'll second you. The CE5, I can't. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, I'll second you.
I still can't. Sure. I have racked my brain ever since, and I cannot explain that one. So,
Blake's giggling again.
Yeah.
But just because I'm giggling doesn't mean it's towards a question. I might be giggling at what y'all are saying. I'm just giggling at what Ryan was saying. It's all right. Quick question, actually. Shelley, this one's for you. Will Shelley be adding her spirit dice to your online store at any point, or where can I make an order?
You message me, and then you be patient.
Shelley is kind of backed up on orders right now, but yes.
I have about 16 people that I have most of them made. I just have not seen those people to give it to them. Message me, tell me what color, and when is the next time I will see you, or send me your address. Okay?
Yes. Thank you, Shelby. That was
Thank you, Shelby.
So, and Ryan, I guess this one will be for you and I, from Mr. Chad Wandell over at Ghost Geeks. Nerdy question, but what was the best paranormal book you have read this year? We all know that Shelley does not read books when she does.
I either do audiobooks. No, I do audiobooks.
Shelley likes to do the documentaries and do her own reading through articles and stuff. So,
man, I like to do magazine articles.
I have to remember what I read this year. I've read so many.
You read everything.
Oh man.
I'm going to say, okay, I know it says paranormal book, but how about this? Since we are a paranormal and true crime podcast, I'm going to kind of pivot the question just a hair. How about just my favorite book I read this year, which was a true crime novel, which was Hell's Princess by Harold Schechter. It is about Belle Gunness, which is what I used mainly for my research on the Belle Gunness episodes, the 2-part that I did. Absolutely fantastic, wonderfully written. Does an amazing job telling the story. The chapters are nice and short, so if you only want to read for about 5 minutes, you can get through like a whole chapter. It's great, and it is such an easy read, just small and jam-packed with lots of information. So that one was a good one.
If I'm going to pick one, the one that's coming to mind, and I don't have the title in front of me right now, but Brad Steiger collected a lot of stories
of Brad Steiger.
The stories of Brad Steiger. I mean, like, I have a big, thick book all about, like, his UFO stories that he collected. So that's my favorite one. My favorite true crime one that I read this year is probably the one about Gertrude Banaszewski, because she was
that horrible story.
That was an awful story. That was an awful story.
You decided to bring that fucking horrible story to our damn podcast.
I know.
God, that one, I had to leave the screen. I couldn't even listen to that anymore. Oh God, the story is no. You told it well.
Right.
It was more than what I could handle. Being a mom, that was
she got what was coming to her in the end, and that's why that one that's a very tough read. But it's worth checking out.
Okay. Well, good to know. All right, so going back to experiences now, man, y'all are loading up the comments, and I love it. So the questions,
love it. Thank you, guys.
So we're going to go back to experiences for a second. The first one is going to be, what has been one of the most rewarding experiences you have each had in your years of investigating? I know mine, hands down, right off the bat.
Go ahead.
Mine is going to have to be with spirit dice and testing if spirit dice is something I was able to do for public readings. I was reading a gentleman and got him connected with his son, who was unfortunately on the other side. And that had to be the most rewarding thing that I got to see firsthand and witness firsthand, was just the amount of healing and grief that he was just able to let go in the moment, because the dice were so spot on. They said exactly what he had questions about, and it ended with his son basically coming through going, please allow me to take this guilt that you have over my death away from you, and let me take it with you. And that, I cried during that reading, and that was one of the only readings that I've ever cried in, because it was so profound, because the dice were just so spot on with the things that they were saying, giving direct names, exactly what happened. And to watch this father just release that amount of grief and stress and guilt out of his life in an instant, so freaking rewarding. That is one of the reasons why I do the spirit dice readings, is because I know how important healing and grief can be in life. And to be able to be that conduit to connect both sides for even just a split second has to be in my opinion, it makes it all worth it doing what I do.
Right?
I mean, mine's kind of simple, because it's at McIntyre Villa when I got the spirit to knock back at me twice.
Oh yeah, that was so cool.
When I did the shave and a haircut, and it did it once, and I got to do it a second time, because we interact with these things all the time. We see them all the time, and we hear them. You know, we've heard audible voices again at McIntyre, but to have something that was intelligent repeat what I did and repeat it back to me, and everyone in the room could see it and hear it, that was rewarding, because I'm like, see, I knew it. I knew they were here. I knew they were going to do it. You know, so that was really cool. I turned into like a kid in a candy store when that happened. But
that was such a cool moment.
Yeah, so that's a pretty simple moment, but that's the one I can think of right now. Like you, Shelley.
Well, I think that it was probably my toughest moment ever in investigating, but also in the end, it didn't seem rewarding in the beginning, but it was at the end. After I'd had time to process it, was after I basically got taken over at Old Park, and I was not weeks, and I could do nothing but cry. And I went to a Reiki healer, and I was helped by our friend Sal. I had people from Canada help. I had people over the United States that I was calling on to help me. And finally, I got suggested to get a Reiki healer, and she started working on me. She says, "You have thousands and thousands of little barbs in you." She goes, "They're like tiny fish hooks." And she says, "You're going to have to feel every one of them and let it go." It was basically the spirits of Old Park, the females. It was like every female who had ever had anything bad happen to them. It was like they dumped all their pain to me. And I was reminded by our good friend Sal that they wouldn't have given it to me if they didn't think that I could carry it for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in hindsight, that was very rewarding. Now, for those 2 weeks, it freaking sucked. I'm going to be straight up front with you. It sucked. And these two know that I was I couldn't go more than 20, 30 minutes. I cried for like 7 or 8 days straight and could not stop crying, waking up in the middle of the night crying. It was just all this pain. I kept seeing these images in my head, like someone was flipping a deck of cards, and then they get another deck of cards, and every flip I had to feel whatever it was that female felt. I saw them. I could feel their pain. And when I was told that I just had to feel it and release it and say, I feel it, I'm giving it back to you. Yeah. And it was rewarding whenever I was reminded they wouldn't have given it to me if they didn't think I could take it with me and take it from them. So that made me feel good. I don't particularly want to do it again. Not an experience I recommend repeating, but yeah, it was rewarding in the end.
Well, keeping with the experiences, like I said, we're going to try to get as many of your questions tonight as we can. So we may be moving kind of quick, but we're going to try and answer as many as we can.
Okay.
Throwing them in the comments left and right.
I love that. Thank you, guys.
So next question is about experiences. Again, we're going to kind of pivot just a bit, but have you ever had a paranormal experience from wearing or touching a dead person's clothing or items? So I guess psychometry would basically be this question.
I can't recall that ever happening to me, but you guys may have had a different experience.
I have. After my grandmother passed away, she had this one cute little blue house dress, the button down the front, little pockets in it, had little fish all over it. She loved to fish. And I know right where that is this day, and I keep it in a plastic bag because whenever I open a plastic bag, it smells like my grandmother's perfume. And when I found it, when I was helping clean out our house, I was holding it, and I got this really warm, nice feeling. And that night I had a dream about her. So, and she didn't really say anything to me. She was just there, and so that warm feeling I got just from being able to smell her perfume, and it's still in a bag in my closet. And anytime I miss her a lot, I go and it's my grandma, So yeah, from touching, out in a haunted location, yeah, I've gotten sick from touching things, that kind of thing. But my best one is my grandmother's little house dress, teeny tiny little house dress she used to wear.
Psychometry is kind of something that I've been working with as best I can. The only thing that I can attribute to experiencing anything when touching it is the feeling of like emotions that may, not emotions, sorry, energy. I don't know where my brain's at tonight. The feelings of energy that may be attached, not to a point where maybe I see or hear stuff with it really. But I don't know. Well, it's kind of like whenever we were in Utah and we walked into Josie Morris, wasn't her name?
Josie Morris, yeah, her cabin.
Yeah, we walked into her cabin. It was just kind of like, whoa. And I put my hand up on the door frame, and it's just like this palpable energy just kept shooting through me. So that's really kind of about it for me as far as like touching or anything.
I'm the one Go ahead.
Well, and I'll be honest, like I ain't never wore no dead person's clothing, so I wouldn't know. I mean, I know we're not talking about like the clothing that touched the dead person. I understand that, but people who have passed.
Have you ever been to a Goodwill or a thrift store and gotten clothes? You very well may have wore somebody who was dead's clothing.
Probably did.
Probably.
No, but I'm usually the one that I like to touch everything. I can. That's kind of what I like to do, and I have gotten
everything.
I do. That sounds dirty. I heard it when you said it. Yeah, I do. I like to pick up things, and especially if I'm not supposed to, then I really want to. But yeah, sometimes I'll get a flash image. Sometimes I'll get, so I've gotten ill, like physically felt sick a lot of times after handling something. Yeah. I don't like to touch haunted dolls. And Ryan, yes, you have, because we both picked up that same haunted doll. Somebody came over and asked us to hold it, and we both got a stomach ache from it, like almost immediately. And they talked to you before they brought it to me. And I went over and I picked up the doll, and I immediately felt sick. Started getting a headache. My stomach started getting sick, and I'm like, no, take this doll back. So yeah, I think the touch and the connection. Yeah, I think if it has energy, I think you can definitely get something from it.
Okay. So in that same realm, from Shelby again, is there any paranormal experiments that you haven't tried yet that you would like to try?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's lots of experiments. Every time we go somewhere or investigate with somebody, other teams, which we try to do as often as we can, we always learn something new. Someone suggested it to this. Words are hard. Someone suggested this to us this weekend about the spirit dice. They asked, have you ever tried throwing two sets together? And Blake, I didn't know if that was an experiment you wanted to try, or if you think that would not your energy. No. Well, I would like to see someone do it just to see kind of what happens. The goal is only the 13 dice, though. I saw one that was the one, when we wanted to do it, we haven't done. And I believe that Sam and Mike, the mysterious Sam and Mike, wanted to try this with us, where we have one person doing an Estes over the phone with someone else in another location live, and see if we could interact and have them ask the questions live and just kind of record what's going on. That's one we want to try that we have not done yet. A multi-location Estes method with all of us being open together, closed together, and having the same question from a moderator asked, with all of it being filmed at the same time to see what happens. So yeah, that is one I know we'd like to try.
I'll tell you one I'd like to try. I'd like for one of you guys, both of you guys, to go somewhere by yourself, because I had to. Well, hold on. I'm saying like be left by yourself in a particular area. Like
he's just whining and bitching because nobody went by themselves on this road trip so many years ago, and he was the only one that had.
Hey, shut up! No, because if you let me finish, you dildo, I am the calm one, and I got some stuff going on in the location by myself. Now, you two guys are not the calm ones. You guys are the more like, bigger energy. So I wonder like what you guys would get if you were by yourself somewhere.
I
That's
go by
something I
myself
would like to
places all the
try.
time. Y'all have to
Yes.
come find me.
But we're talking,
Yes, but you know
we're
what I
talking- This
mean,
is
like
different, though. We get that you
Yes.
wander off and you go by yourself. This is
Yes.
different. This is an experiment that he's
Yes.
talking about. Yeah,
I'm in.
Exactly.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, for me, I would actually like to try to be more scientific in this whole thing about abilities and trying to figure things out with abilities. I think we've only done it one time, really, where I was earphoned and blindfolded at Old Park with equipment set out, and unbeknownst to me, you were asking questions to see what correlated with the equipment that was spiking and being manipulated. And a lot of that was kind of spot on from what we were able to see. And I think that each one of us would be able to go into this experiment somehow with other senses being taken away, while the other two do something that the third one is the one that's under is not aware of. Just to add that randomness, as well as be able to make it add a little bit more validity to it. I would like to play
So we can
around with some
trust
of
our
the more.
senses.
Yeah, I would like to play more along the lines of the scientific aspect of trusting your abilities and recording that. I think that would be really cool.
I will tell you, I know with Sam and Mike that, because I know I met them before Ryan met them, before Blake met them. And that was one of the first things I did. Was Sam pulls me aside. She goes, "Come on, let's go for a walk." She goes, "You're going to tell me what's going on." I'm going, "Huh? What?" And she likes to test me, which I appreciate. Test me, see if, because if I'm off, let me know. So yeah, but I actually I like doing that a lot.
But
And
even
we've done that. We've walked with, when we've gone somewhere, we've actually walked with a different team member. We've not of our group, of another team, and said, "Okay, don't tell me anything. You know the history. I don't. Don't tell me anything. Just let me tell you what I pick up on, and then if I hit on something at the end, tell me."
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this one might be more towards y'all. I think I might have an answer for this one, though, but we're going to switch topics here and get off the paranormal and all of that stuff. We're actually going to go kind of true crime. We have a true crime question. And it's basically a favorite question. So what is your favorite mobster and or mob story?
Well, that's like asking
good
what my
luck
favorite
for y'all
child
too.
is.
I know,
Man.
exactly.
That's like asking who
John
your favorite
Gotti.
kid is.
Mine's John Gotti. I am fascinated with John Gotti. I've always been fascinated with John Gotti or Sam Giancana. Either one. That's I can't choose between my favorite children, but if I lean a little more towards one, I have always been fascinated with John Gotti, the Teflon Don, that good looking. That's where I got my like of silver-haired devils. Yes.
I mean, I really like Luciano's story. Him and Meyer Lansky like taking over the mob and making it what it was. But I'm a sucker for Capone and his war against the North Side gang and the South Side gang fighting each other. The Italians and the Irish, like him versus Dino Banyan, and Dino Banyan's like underlings. I love that story. So Capone is probably my favorite.
What about Bugsy? What about Bugsy Siegel?
Mine's gonna have to go
Bugsy's
with.
cool.
Mine's gonna have to go with everything after I learned about the Black Dahlia and my belief that it was just a overly crazy mob hit between two mobsters that were trying to prove a fucking point, and send a message and all that kind of stuff, and the involvement of all these different aspects of mobster and mob individuals. So if you haven't listened to what I broke down in those three, I think I did it in January of last year in 2024, so quite a few bit away, but anyways, it was fascinating to go down that path and kind of piece those little pieces together, because there were so many mobsters that were involved in that story. And I did a 3-part miniseries on that, which was really cool.
Oh, maybe the one I'm most fascinated with is Richard Kuklinski.
No, God,
nice man.
I'm fascinated with him too. He was a mob hitman.
He was.
Oh my God. Yeah, that one. If you do not know Richard Kuklinski's story, holy cow, where have you been? Go check that. He's known as the Iceman.
That one's cool.
Yeah.
I'll actually suggest a book. Go read the actual, because the movie Gangs of New York is fantastic. But go read the actual book, Gangs of New York. That is like the groundwork for like what the mafia, how it even started in America. It's really interesting. Like all the other gangs and the mafia particularly. So go check that out.
Yeah. Well, I will quickly answer this next question, because it's just a question about some evidence that we were sent. Doug, thank you for sending in your evidence photos. We will take a look at them. We have not been able to yet. We just got back from Phenomenon. So we are trying to catch up on emails and all that stuff. So we will get back to you on that. So there's your answer for that. I think we always get asked this question, but you know, I'm going to put it up anyways. Do y'all have any bucket list haunted areas you'd like to visit at a future time? Yes,
Should
we
we
do.
say it on 3?
Well,
One.
we've been saying that, and then we've been saying wrong things. So have they changed? Let's just go down the line, shall we?
Penhurst and Trans-Allegheny.
Okay. Ryan?
Also, Penhurst and Trans-Allegheny.
Mine's going to be Trans-Allegheny. That is, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to go to Penhurst, but if we're talking about like, you know, top tier number 1, mine is definitely Trans-Allegheny. And if we're talking bucket list, we would be here all night because I literally have a map called the Black Maps that shows you every haunted location in Native American indigenous, you know, lands and cryptid sightings and UFO sightings. It's all on this map, and I want to go to every single one of them. So we'll be here all
And
night.
I want to go to any castle because that's where I
That'd be cool.
belong.
Let me add another one to my list, though. Crescent. I want to go to Crescent really bad because it was a sanatorium and then it became a prison. So you got both on top of each other, and that is where.
And Eloise.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to Eloise.
Eloise would be really cool.
See, we got to quit naming them because we'll be here all. We'll be
here all night. Like that's the
if
thing.
it's haunted, it's on my bucket list.
Yes.
Yeah. If it's haunted, like this. What is it that meme that's going around on Facebook? Like, don't ask me if I want to do spooky shit this Halloween season. Just come get
The
me.
answer's yes. Just come get me.
Just come get me.
I'll run out.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm dressed or not.
Yeah. I can answer this one really quick for dice readings. This will be a real quick question. It just says, speaking of dice readings, Blake, what was the funniest reading you had? Not including mine that you did at Gettysburg. Yes, that was quite hilarious. If you want to put it in the comments, it's your story to tell, not mine. However, it would be like this past weekend. I'm not going to give away too much because it is a private reading. But when I asked someone sitting at the table if I said, do you have a husband on the other or ex-husband on the other side? She responded with, unfortunately, no, I check the obituaries every day. That had to be pretty freaking comical reading. So that one was pretty good. So,
I liked her too. I remember her sitting down. I liked her. She was fun.
She was quite hilarious. So speaking of castles, though, this ties into it. Have you ever investigated a castle? And if no, would you want to? Well, we already know Shelley's answer on that.
Yes, that's why I belong is in a castle. Yes. I'd probably be on the guillotine ready to get my head chopped off, but yeah, I should be in a castle.
You know what castle I want to investigate the most? Chillingham Castle.
not the voice from the most haunted places ever, or whatever.
Yeah.
Chillingham Castle. Oh god, that lady's
I would love to go
to me out.
Chillingham or Castle Lep. Those two would be awesome. Hell, even Dracula's Castle. I would love to do any
Dracula's
of those.
Castle, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dracula's Castle. So well, and my 14th great grandmother is is Mary Queen of Scots. So any of our family castles, I would happily. Where is my acreage and money?
I would like to Edinburgh.
Edinburgh's cool too.
Yeah. We haven't done a castle yet, have we?
We haven't been overseas yet.
Well, there's
Wilson Castle.
There's Wilson. There's Pythian Castle.
Pythian, yeah.
There's a couple here in America, but yeah, I don't think we've had the opportunity to be able to get into one yet. So, be interesting to. Anyways, so yeah. Sorry.
The answer is yes. I want to.
Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Yeah, yeah. Well, jumping back to true crime now, man, y'all got a lot of true crime questions tonight too. So jumping back to true crime questions, in all of the true crime stories that you have covered, which story fascinates each of you the most?
Does it have to be one we've covered?
Yeah.
Well, it says you have covered.
Because the one that fascinates me the most we haven't covered, but go ahead.
Then go with the one you've covered. Right, trying to make it hard. Of all the true crime, the one that really got to me really badly, and I'm not going to necessarily say favorite. It's fascinating to me. Is about the Lobster Boy.
Oh yeah.
Greatest Styles.
Yeah.
That one was hard to research. Hard to write, hard to deliver. And it fascinated me because I just didn't understand the amount of control that this man had over his family. I didn't understand it. And there were some things in the story that I very much related to. And so that one did fascinate me. And it was horrific. at the same time. So yeah,
I
Lobster Boy Grady Styles.
I would say for me, Charles Whitman, the sniper at the UT Tower, because that man, I don't know, I go back and forth on whether or not like his tumor actually had anything to do with him just snapping like that, or if he was just putting himself under that much pressure and it caused him to snap. But I think that man really needed some help, and being the 50s or 60s, I can't remember which one it was, there was no help for anyone like that. And mental health has come a long way, but that one is just the one that just breaks my heart, really.
Yeah. My favorite true crime that we have covered definitely has to be the Marilyn Monroe conspiracy. That one was one of the funnest ones for me to cover. And we actually did not do a lot of that live like we normally do. We did 5 episodes of that as a mini series, not live, that's on YouTube. It's the Marilyn Monroe miniseries that we have 6 episodes total. The last one we did live just to bring about the entirety of the conspiracy theory as I saw it. That was fun, deep dive into her life, into her mental state, her relationships with all of these celebrities and stuff. And at the very end, I actually put together a timeline that fits, that would place Robert Kennedy at the center of her murder. I believe she was murdered. That's the way I'm going to stand by it. That is my opinion. And so I present the evidence as that in the final episode. I'm obsessed with her. If you haven't seen the Marilyn Tat, there she is. I absolutely love me some Marilyn. She's an underrated woman, not for her sexuality, but for her book smarts. That woman was insanely smart. And the only reason why she is dead is because she was ready to give a tell-all about the Kennedy brothers and the things she had seen at Area 51. So that is my opinion on the case.
That's where it goes into me and Shelley's wheelhouse.
Yeah. So that was fascinating. If you haven't watched it, though, 6 episodes with
it's
me
a
and Shelley.
YouTube only.
Yep, YouTube only. That's it. So, well, when you were a kid, was there a certain true crime case that you were fascinated with that might not have been covered in the podcast yet? Yes, there was. I can name it right off the bat.
Yeah, I can.
John Benet Ramsey.
Oh yeah,
I was obsessed with that case, and we have not covered it yet on the podcast. And we will say that the family is pretty litigious, and that's probably why we haven't covered it, because you have to be really careful about what you say about this family and how you present things, and so it's a little tricky.
We'll figure out a way to do it, though.
We will figure out a way at some point. But that one, I remember in grocery stores as a kid. That was what, 92? I think it was, 94. When was that? I don't remember off the top of my head. I was little. And I remember seeing like her face just splattered everywhere across magazine covers and everything like that, like in the grocery store and stuff. And I was just fascinated by this little girl that all I could understand at the time was that she was missing. That was it. So that is the one that like I remember specifically as a kid being kind of obsessed with. I would read the magazine covers and see her picture.
And it's funny because the one that I remember is, of course, the murder of Adam Walsh.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Because I think that is the first time that it got so much attention. And that was the first time that I ever remember my parents actually being worried about letting me go outside by myself in this little small town. Suddenly we couldn't ride our bikes up the street without asking permission. Suddenly my mom wanted to know, you don't leave unless you call me, when even if it's just to go across the street. She didn't want us doing that anymore. It kind of became kind of a loss of innocence for parents at that time, that someone very much could grab your child and take them. And it wasn't just this one-off occurrence. It actually happened, and it happened more often than you thought, because John Walsh made a point to let you know that there were all these missing kids, and they were put on the back of milk cartons now. And you could see the faces every time you're eating your morning cereal, missing kid, which is quite traumatic for a child.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that's the one that stuck with me.
I'd probably say the one that and it's one I remember the most, because I remember it was the first time I kind of understood what mortality was the Oklahoma City bombing. Because I remember when I was a kid, I remember coming in from playing outside and seeing that happen on the television, and the lady that was babysitting me at the time was like, "Go back outside, you don't need to see this." But my family, like when I was growing up, I was a very informed kid. I would always watch the news at night with my family. I remember like watching segments about that and trying to figure out like what happened nightly on like ABC News every single night. So that was the one that kind of piqued my interest at first.
Such a great question.
That's
I don't think we've ever been asked that question. Thank you,
that's
Morgan.
one we've never gotten.
No,
Thank
it's
you, Morgan.
often. Yeah. Okay, gonna switch over to some investigating again. Man, y'all are throwing them in. I love it. That's why we're moving so fast.
Thank you so much. We're trying to answer them
from
fast.
Brian Thacker. It says, I'm doing an overnight Indiana State sanatorium in a few weeks. Do you guys plan on going back there?
Oh, I thought you were saying, do we plan on going with you? And the answer is yes. When is it? I'll be there.
I'd love to go back.
Yes, we would.
Yeah.
We would love to go back to Indiana State. We will take precautions, as you should. Go ahead and do a walkthrough of all the buildings before you begin. Please do not go alone because there is no outer back fence. And people do come and wander up into the property. They may have secured it more at this point, which I'm sure that they probably have. But just to be safe, make sure you walk each building with a partner and leave somebody standing outside the doors in or out just to make sure that the buildings are clear before you go in to investigate, especially if you're going in alone.
Yeah, that's the one I would advise using the buddy system. I would use the buddy system there for sure. Don't be by yourself. I mean,
and it is a great location.
It is. It's
amazing. It has a lot of activity. Just stay in the buddy system.
If you want to know why, you can go watch our episode over Indiana State Sanatorium. Me and Shelly break down specifically and show you the video. I wouldn't call it evidence, but the video from the encounter that we almost had with a real human being. So that had to be one of the most frightening moments of my entire investigation career, just because to me, people in local wildlife are a lot scarier than ghosts and demons. That was
just use the buddy system, and yes, we would love to go back, and I think you're going to have a great time. Just make sure your buildings are clear before you, because again, the people that run it can't be everywhere at once. So make sure that your building's clear before you start.
And it is very haunted and very worth it. So have a good time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Watch out for bats.
Oh, ask me how I know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking bat. If you had the chance, from Mr. Doug, if you had the chance, would you investigate the Winchester Mystery House?
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat, 100%. So,
absolutely.
Little nerdy moment for me. Back in COVID times or right after COVID times or whatever, I think that they were like still shut down or whatnot. I bought the lifetime subscription to be able to tour the house like virtually whenever I want to. So I have access to it whenever I want to. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding.
And you did
it is fascinating
Sarah Winchester.
I did do an episode over Sarah Winchester and the Winchester Mystery House as well. And broke down a lot of the
symbolism with the number 13,
symbolisms kind of and all of that kind of stuff within the house and her belief system and everything like that. So it's a fascinating episode.
In a heartbeat is our collective answer.
In a freaking heartbeat. Absolutely.
Thank you, Speed Buggy Dougie.
Yeah. Have you seen the police video of the Watts House investigation that was on the TV while the cops asked him questions? Yes, I have. I know exactly what you're talking about. For those of y'all know that Chris Watts with Shannon Watts and the daughters that disappeared, and it's the body footage from the police asking him questions. You can actually hear, I believe it's two distinct voices on this police body camera footage. One, I believe, is of a female, another is of a younger girl. They're very haunting. It's very sad. But they're alleging them to be disembodied voices or EVPs captured, not disembodied voices, EVP, because they didn't hear them in the moment, but EVPs that were captured on the police body camera.
But didn't the cops get like extra spooked about being in that house too? Like there were like stories they were telling. Yeah, man,
they did.
That is fascinating. Go watch if you can find that footage. It is so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So Shelly, have you seen that?
It seems like I have, but I don't want to say for certain that I've had, because you guys send me a lot of crap to watch, and it's about 50-50 shot whether or not I watch it because I'm busy. So I think I have. It sounds very familiar, but I'm not going to say for certain I have. It sounds familiar. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Fair enough. It's very haunting. If you haven't seen it, you can probably Google it. So
yeah.
In all of your paranormal investigations, God, y'all got to understand that's like 120 investigations plus now at this point.
That's collectively
in like 4 years too,
between the three of us. That's
no,
what it is between the three of us.
That's us three. That's us three.
Yeah, that's just us three.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's not collectively. Yeah, that's
Right.
not collective. Like that's the group. That's EVP. So in all of your paranormal investigations, which have you related to on a personal level? Oh, shit.
Ooh.
That's a tough question.
Which have we related to on a pro? I mean, I have Lois Higgs and then the females at the Old Park Hotel.
Yeah.
But if you're talking a location, I might need a little. If you're talking about a location that we really related to or really felt,
I guess just
compelled?
investigations, like the stuff that you
Okay,
captured
if
on
you're talking
investigation.
if you're talking about relating to as in being compelled, I can honestly say that after all of us went to Yorktown, we all immediately were compelled to go back. There's something about
Yeah.
that building that the first time you go in, you are compelled to go back. You're drawn to it. You keep wanting to go back to figure out what the hell is going on. But personally, mine are Lois Higgs and the female spirits from Old Park.
Well, I was gonna say too, mine's Waverly Hills because for some reason I feel like I'm supposed to be there. When I'm there, I'm comfortable, and I feel like I don't know what it is about that place, but I just it gets in your bones. Like you have that location or this places, it just like gets into you, and like you want to be there, and that's the one for me. Like I just relate to that place for whatever reason.
Okay. Fun enough. I would say for me on a personal level, I don't know if related to on a personal level. I don't know if I necessarily related to. I would want to say almost the one that got the most personal for me would have been Yorktown Memorial Hospital. There have been things said to me, done to me, come home with me that took things a lot farther than just a typical investigation. There were a lot of things that were said and done on site that felt more like a personal attack instead of just going after the investigator to scare them out of the location. It felt like it was actually trying to do more personal damage within my former marriage, within my mental state, mental health and stuff like that. So I would have to say the one that I probably relate to the most on a personal level, just because of personal attacks, would be Yorktown Memorial Hospital.
Yeah,
That one is another level.
Yeah, if you're talking, it gets personal with us, and we have no choice to have that, but because it got so personal, you have a personal relationship with it. It is Yorktown, I think, for all of us. But if it's like a personal, just something you just related to that you're drawn to, yeah, mine's still Waverly Hills, Lois Higgs. Yeah, she's mine.
Okay, besides, gonna make us think here. Besides Gregg County Historical Museum, Old Park Hotel, and Yorktown Memorial Hospital, what is a haunted location in the state of Texas that you would love to investigate? I personally would love to go back to Menger Hotel in San Antonio.
What is the one? It's in San Antonio. The Emily Morgan, because it used to be an insane asylum. Okay. I would love to get into the Emily Morgan.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can even. I mean, I'm sure you could rent a room out where it was the insane asylum at some point, but I don't know how open they are to people doing investigations. But that's the one for me.
Mine would be White Sanatorium, which is in Wichita Falls. Unfortunately, I have tried, and a family owns it now and is now living in the building.
Good for them.
They have made it their home.
Good for them.
I have a friend of a friend who knows them, who I've been desperately trying to get in there just to come let me walk around. They do not allow it. But from what I knew before they moved in, that was a very haunted location. Stop moving and living in haunted buildings, people.
They'll move out eventually.
I want to go. Yes, they probably will.
Don't tell me what I can and cannot do. I'll buy a haunted location and move into it if I want to.
But see, you'll still let me investigate there.
I'm going to go squat at the Old Park Hotel. So I'm just going to go squat in there. Just there. Okay, Chad and Leslie are just going to walk in, and I'm going to have my feet propped up on the front desk and be like, "Hi, welcome. How can I help you?"
So where in Texas would you go that isn't one of those places, Blake?
I would choose the Anson Opera House because I've never been and I've heard stories
Anson
about
Opera
it.
House is good.
I actually have two that I would actually die to get into: is Anson Opera House and Beach Army Hospital, both of which we have learned.
And you can't get into Beach Army anymore.
I was gonna say both of which we have learned that I don't believe they're doing investigations anymore. I know Beach Army Hospital they're not, but I don't believe that Anson Opera House is either. I would love to get into
I didn't know
both
that.
of those. I want to say that a tour company, a certain tour company that
messed it up.
Yeah, they did one other one there, and I believe that they closed it down. So
okay.
Yeah, so those would actually, there's two locations for you: Anson Opera House and
I hate
Beach
you.
Army
I hate
Hospital.
you. I hate you, Miss Beach Army, dude.
I know I didn't get to either one.
But
I got with
again-
y'all like 6 months after they closed it down. Had it just been like 7 months earlier.
But again, whenever you know the person who owns it, I'm waiting to call in that favor for the right thing. For the right thing,
yeah,
Blake.
yeah,
I'm waiting to
yeah.
call in that favor.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Leslie said I don't have to squat, Goober. You're always welcome. Thank you, Leslie. I
Aw,
appreciate it.
that's very sweet. Thank you, Leslie.
I'll clean. I promise. I'll do my chores when I come and stay. Okay. Would you be interested in investigating Eastern State Penitentiary if you
Yes,
haven't
please.
already?
Hell
So
yes.
fucking-lutely.
Yes,
Hell
please.
yes.
Are you inviting
Now-
us?
No, this is just a question.
Now,
Oh.
I don't think that they are allowing investigations right now, but I would, yes, absolutely, 110%.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And
without
now,
a doubt.
if you got the line on something that we don't know about, let us
Yes,
know.
please.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Ryan. I don't think they are, but
Mhm.
yeah, without a doubt. 100%.
Mhm.
Again,
would
and if
just
you're
open it
inviting
back
us, just tell me when and where I can get on a plane.
There's
Absolutely.
no invitation in that question, Shelly. This is
Are
not
you
an
sure?
invitation.
I'm reading into
positive.
it.
I'm
Okay.
100% positive.
There could be later. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. So, Doug, to answer your question, what was the one that I got felt up at? That would have been Old Park Hotel when I got my ass grabbed in the middle
Mine
of the
was
night.
Old Park Hotel, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Full butt cuppage right there in the bed. Couldn't explain that one. So
I've
that was
been
fun.
touched a lot at Old Park.
yeah. I've been touched quite a bit at Old Park as well. So me and Shelly both have had tried to set up dates with some of the brothel people as well. So it's been
Ryan, where
fun.
were you touched inappropriately? Have you ever been touched inappropriately?
I don't think I've been touched.
I don't think he has.
Like I've been touched. Like I've had something grab my hand before.
Yeah,
I've
you'd
never
have to
been-
have an ass to get it touched, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have one. I'm like a frog in a pair of pants.
Fuck, Shelly. Damn.
He says it all the time. It's fine.
He does.
Jesus.
It's just funnier
I
if I
do.
slam
I
him
say-
with it first.
I don't refer to myself in third person. Yeah, he does. I do.
don't know, you're weird.
I don't know.
You turned to your altar, you're becoming senile.
I told you
That's
I'm
it,
still
man.
Luby from Phenomenon.
Welcome to 36, my friend. If you could magically pull a new piece of equipment out of thin air, what would you call it and what would it do? Damn it, Chad, you better
Don't make us think up your ideas, Chad.
Anything that comes out of the three of our mouths is trademarked from this point on. But it has to pertain to this question. No, just kidding.
Now, if Chad can do one of my loopy ideas anytime he wants to, because I don't know.
Let's
Let's make it a challenge, gentlemen.
No, I will go ahead and say that the one thing that I wanted to pull out of thin air has already happened. He's still tweaking it though. But anyways, that's not calling you out or anything, Chad. It's only been like a year or so since it's been being tweaked. But anyways, that is to make anything into a REM pod. So I said out of thin air, I just told Chad, I was like, I would love to be able to have something that had this interchangeable antenna or something where I could do like alligator clamps onto something metal, and then that metal thing would become, he said, no, it's done. Thanks. That thing would become a REM pod. They could interact with it. I wanted like this wire that I could like lay around or wrap around something so that an object or I could become a REM pod. And then just like a regular REM pod, So lo and behold, whenever we went to an investigation with him, he's like, hey, come here. And so I walked over there and he wrapped this wire around me and he like turns this whole thing on and plugs it into the REM pod. And he's like, your hand is now a REM pod. And I was like, shut up. I was like, you kidding me? Like I can wrap it around me, like come shake my hand. And he's like, yeah. And he like holds his, hand up to mine and it like makes the sensors go off. I was like, shut the fuck up. I can be a REM pod. I can be a walking fucking REM. Yeah, I was geeking out. No pun intended, ghost geeks. but anyways, and then he was like, oh shit, you know, Chad nerds out. He's like, oh, I forgot to take in, you know, your own EMF, whatever. Don't ask me to name.
So
he took it back and tweaked it.
Yeah.
So he's already made mine.
I know exactly what I would want, because you see, I am a short person. And most people, whenever they are looking, they look at their eye level and they look down. Humans in general are apex predators, so we do not ever look up. I would like something that literally you could suspend, perhaps from the ceiling or something that maybe came down, that would be like a sky sensor. Because sometimes you feel things go past you and you look, but you don't think to look up. But what if it is actually going over you? What if that energy field is actually passing over you? Now, sometimes you suddenly just get cold and you're like, oh gosh, it just got chilly, but then it's gone. Perhaps it's passing over you. And because we don't have a tendency to look up when we investigate, how great would it be to have some kind of sensor above you that you could even, whether it's on some kind of sky sensor that would let me know if there's some kind of change above me, whether it's static electricity, electromagnetic,
what you would call it too,
temperature, or something like that. Maybe it's something you could set up that has like an archway that you could just like literally unfold out, and wherever you have it, that if something, you know, so there you go, Chad. I only take 10%.
We're gonna call it sky sensor too.
Yeah, it's a sky sensor. That's what I would think, because again, we as humans, we don't look up, because usually we're the, you know, predominant predator.
Right.
So we're not afraid of anything swooping down and picking us up. So
what a great
something
idea,
that might be extended from the ceiling. You can do this at Old Park. That that might do measures from temperature changes, that kind of static changes.
He said two things, one to me, one to you. He had to have a way to negate my EMF field. So there was the answer for why he took it back to tweak it. And then for you, he said, we are working on making the back hallway have sensors all the way down that will light up in strips down the hall.
Oh, cool. So
from the ceiling?
Like the light board kind of.
Yeah, kind of like the whiteboard.
From the ceiling.
Could be.
Because paranormal activity doesn't just happen on the ground, Chad.
That's what he means. He's like going to line the hallway.
Yeah.
So it's
Yay.
Do not fight with our viewers, Shelley.
Yeah.
It's Chad. He didn't give a shit.
It's my favorite, one of my favorite people in the world, right there.
I know.
One of my favorites.
Ryan, do you have one you'd pull out of thin air?
Yeah, something like a screen or something that can show me exactly what I'm talking to, because we don't necessarily know sometimes, or because we'll start talking to something and 5 different things will come in and show me exactly what I'm talking to. Call it the veil lifter. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with that. I can be down for that. Let's see here. I'm gonna ask this one first because this one's funny. For a second or third date, would you take said date on a haunted location or to a haunted location? And if that person was a non-believer, but do it for a scare or a laugh, which haunted location would you take that person to?
Okay. If it was a second or third, wait a minute, hang on. Let me clarify. If it was a second or third date, would we take them? And would we take them for a laugh?
Or to scare them?
I mean, those are not mutually exclusive.
And I say, and so if so, which location would you take this person to for a second or third date to either get a scare or a laugh out of them?
I'm evil. You know where I'd take them.
Where are you taking them?
I'm putting them in Yorktown in the basement.
Oh, you're a bitch. You're a bitch.
Well, I got to see if they can hang with me. And if they can't hang with me on an investigation, I got to say, see you later, because I have certain things I enjoy doing. And that doesn't have to be your gig. But I want to make sure that if you don't like it, that you never want to come with me again and you leave me alone. So, yeah, I'm taking them to Yorktown. And I'm sticking them in the basement.
I did.
And if they can hang, they're cool.
I did go to Yorktown with an ex-girlfriend, and
you did.
I did, and she was not about. Like, she thought it was interesting, but I ain't never seen somebody go through so many packs of cigarettes in between.
So would you take them, Ryan, on a second or third date?
You know what? Because I tell people, people know what I do. Like, if I'm going to be dating someone, they have to know what I do, and
they got to be cool with it.
They got to be cool with it. Exactly.
It said, Shelley, you have to go on the date first.
That's very true. I always cancel. I never go on the date. Somebody knows me very well.
That was Doug. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, Doug, I accept a lot of dates. I just never go on them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go on the, in all caps too. You have to go on the first
I know. I cancel it.
Sorry, I missed it. I missed it. You have to go on the first date though.
That's true.
That was what it was. Sorry. My bad, Doug. I got it wrong.
I never go, Doug. I cancel every time. You know me. That's the guy who's known me since kindergarten. Yeah, he knows. He knows.
That is hilarious.
Now,
I would
where would I take them? I would take
yeah.
them to not Yorktown. I would take them to Old Park because that's a pretty safe environment. Now it can turn, but it's a pretty safe environment, and it's a lot more fun than it is like super scary. So I would take them to Old Park. Yeah,
I would take them to Old Park as well too, because number one, if we are on a second or third date, there's beds and I'm testing out goods. Sorry, Chad and Leslie. And then also at the same time, I have two friends there that I can put this person in front of and go, thoughts? What do you think?
Because I'm going to judge them. I will totally judge
because,
them.
I need to, get some feedback, if we're on second or third date. I mean, that's a pretty serious material in my opinion.
Yeah, because if you're going to, here's the thing. If you date one of us, you date us all. That's just the way it goes.
And then,
yeah, you do, Ryan. Yeah. Yes, it is true.
Not true.
It is true.
No. But so it would be Old Park Hotel also because it produces every single time we go. So I'm bound to make this person. Yeah, Chad said that's right. We have to approve too. Exactly, Shelley. Okay, so he's agreeing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chad.
Yeah. So
that's right.
Anyways, that's where I would take them, just because I could turn a non-believer into a believer with one night, and I get laid in the process. I'd clean the sheets in bed, I promise.
Ew.
Just kidding. I would never.
This is not Patreon full.
I would never sleep with somebody at a haunted location. This is all a joke.
Bullshit.
I would.
Bullshit. Yes, you would.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
100,000. No, 100,000%. I would never sleep with somebody at a friend's haunted location. I would never.
At a friend, okay, qualify.
If we're going out in the middle of the fucking woods to bone at a haunted location, absolutely sure. Why not? But Old Park, no, where my friends own it and other people sleep in the bed, absolutely not. I'm not doing that shit. That's so disrespectful. Are you kidding me?
Oh, absolutely.
I'd go get my own hotel. Like, fuck that shit. There's a hotel down the street if I wanted to bang somebody. Never mind. Anyways, on to the next one.
Ectoplasm. What the fuck?
All right. Is there any location that you have or have not investigated that you would never go back to or refuse to investigate? So if we haven't been, would we refuse? And if we have been, would we never go back to investigate?
There's no place I would refuse.
I'm pretty open.
Yeah, I don't think there's a place that I would refuse.
And the only time that I would not go back is if I just absolutely got nothing. Or if I felt like the venue owner was perhaps manipulating things.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the nicest way that I can put that, because I have been to one location that I did not go back to, because it became very obvious to me. And we found little evidence that perhaps the venue owner was manipulating things. And that venue no longer exists. So it has actually been torn down. Mm-hmm. So, that would be the only reason I would not go back to a haunted location. If the location is haunted, I will go back 1,000 times.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm down to go pretty much anywhere. I mean, even the ones that are like, oh, don't go there. You don't want to go there. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Can
I go in first?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to refuse to go investigate a location. Absolutely not. Somebody's like, hey, this place is haunted. Let's go investigate. Okay, I'm game. Let's go. Never go back to, I would say, stemming off what Shelley said, I agree with her. I second that. If I find out that a location is manipulating anything, just in my own opinion, I can't trust it anymore, and I can't trust my own evidence at that point. So why am I going to waste the time, the hours, the man energy, the money, all of that kind of stuff just to go investigate this? Yeah, and risk our credibility, because our credibility is number one to us in this field.
That's all.
The only other reason why I would never go back to a location is if I felt unwanted or if I was disturbing the owner of that location. If they made me feel like, even though I paid for this location or whatever, that I wasn't welcome there, that I was like interrupting their night, I would absolutely never step foot into that location again. So,
and we have
so that would be my answer on that. So, oh gosh, we have more questions coming in. Okay, we do have enough time to get to just a couple more. We're only about an hour, 5 minutes in. So, let me see here. Okay, so out of curiosity, have you had any hosts for haunted locations that turned you off to any investigations?
Turned us off. Turned us off.
Turned us off to investigation. I'll speak frankly. I'll speak very frankly and very open. I had always planned and wanted to go to the Conjuring house until a lot of things were coming out that had to do with that, very public things that were coming out. So if you know the whole story about that, then you know what I am talking about, which did turn me off to going to the Conjuring house of all places. Until things changed, which luckily, as you may have all seen, we're in the paranormal field, so we see a lot of the paranormal news first. It is going to be up for auction on Halloween. I think the starting bid's like 1.5 million. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I'm happy to see the farm being transferred, hopefully into different hands that will treat it
someone who will care for it.
as caretakers. And once that does transition out of the current ownership, then I will consider going back, hopefully, depending on how this new owner treats it, which I hope, fingers crossed, is with care and love, as it previously was, because that is a bucket list place for me. I would say that's my answer for that, is the Conjuring.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that there has never been a lot of times, and I know that most venue owners probably consider this, but you will eradicate your own business by the way you treat the investigators. Just like investigators, you know that you will screw up that venue owner's perspective if whenever you go in there, you leave crap everywhere, you destroy their venue, you vandalize in any way. Don't do that. It's got to be a symbiotic relationship. You've got to be able to. The owner's got to give you a little trust, and you have to fulfill the trust that's been given to you. That's usually the only way that I would not go somewhere, as if a venue owner just really, really turned me off to something.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm gonna guess you kind of agree with all that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it's the same for me. I mean, there's not been anywhere except for like what you were saying, maybe the public Conjuring house thing. So
I agree.
Have you or would you go hiking and camping?
No.
In the Appalachian Mountains or any other so-called haunted mountains or forest?
Absolutely. I totally would.
Why would I do that?
I mean, I was in the Boy Scouts. I've camped out in places
That's what's
that were
wrong
pretty
with
spooky
you.
before.
Anyway.
I would totally do it.
I think we know Shelley's solid answer on that.
Now, would I be on high alert the entire time? Sure.
Why am I going camping and hiking in the Appalachian Forest? I see no need for that.
But it's haunted. You're going to investigate. That's what they're asking. Beautiful. Would you do it?
Do I have to stay all night?
Yes.
Well, it says camping, hiking and camping.
Yeah, but I can camp at the Holiday Inn, can't I?
No, this is hiking and camping.
I'll put up a tent in there. I'll pretend.
How about the Hiabachu Forest? Would you go do the Hiabachu Forest?
Oh shit! Now you're
Would
talking.
you hike and camp? Because it says, or any other so-called haunted mountains or forests. So what about the Hiabachu Forest?
I don't know if you can.
Okay. No, I know you can't. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Let me answer the question.
Yeah.
For that forest.
That'd be interesting.
Yes.
Okay, that's what
I would
thought.
hike. I would hike. And
You
Brian will
first.
carry me
Pruitt
half of the way. No, I said hike. And you're going to carry me, big boy, so you just get ready because you're going to be hiking too.
Oh, hell, you don't weigh no more than a backpack anyway. We'll be all good.
Not if I have my luggage on my head.
Oh, God. Yeah, I agree with Leslie. She said you and her can strap cameras to the boys and watch live feeds while we're at the spa.
Leslie, you are my favorite person ever. See, Leslie gets me. We can be getting our nails done while y'all get sweaty.
Now,
I'm here for that.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on, let me answer the question because you already answered. I'm gonna tell you right now. Yes, I would go hiking. Would I go camping? Absolutely not. I would go glamping. So if I could bring a nice big blow up tent with a big fluffy blow up, air mattress and my own air conditioning unit with a portable refrigerator and maybe a portable, I don't know, solar powered TV. Absolutely. Like I totally would.
I thought you were going somewhere else, Blake. Hang on. You said you bring your nice blow up tent, your nice blow up mattress, and I thought your nice blow up doll. That's where you were going next. I'm sorry.
That was supposed to be kept a secret, Shelley. We said we would never discuss that on this podcast. Damn it. Anyways. Okay, we have some more questions to get to, and they are starting to.
Eldon, our friend we made at Phenomenon, just sent a text and said, "I'll go with you, Ryan."
Eldon has a gun. I would go with
That's
Eldon
true.
too.
I might go with Eldon as well. That's very true. Okay, I can wrap this question up pretty quickly. Will there be a time that you will have a weekend or overnight investigation in the historic area of Jefferson, Texas? We will go ahead and say that as a no, because
No.
Jefferson, Texas has their own paranormal society.
Right.
And so they already do a lot of their own ghost hunts and their own paranormal events in that location. So they have it pretty much on lock and saturated down. So it's just an area that we just, out of respect, stay out of. And we
Right.
go to other areas and locations and let them do their thing. There's plenty of room for all of us out there, but they are
Plenty of
known.
places.
Yeah, they are known and
Right.
trusted in that area, and they know the history, they know the
Right.
ghosts, they know the locations. So if you're wanting to go to the historic Jefferson, Texas area, I would implore you to go with one of the groups that are out there. There's a lot of
Right.
events that do take place out there, but we will not do anything out there just because of that reason.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
out of
unless-
respect for them.
Yeah.
Unless we were invited, but yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
sorry, I meant to put that up. My bad.
Mhm.
I'm trying to put all the, thank you, Morgan, for that question. How often have you done residential investigations, and do you prefer them over other types of investigations? Now,
I've done,
we
I've done
have,
quite a
few.
few before I went with
Yeah.
these guys.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we've done
and we've
quite
done a few together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will tell
Um,
you, I do not prefer a residential investigation just because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of follow-up, it's a lot of trust in the people, and people have a tendency to, out of embarrassment or whatever, to not necessarily want to tell you everything you need to know in order to keep yourself safe in the location. We do ask a lot of questions. We do a deep dive. We ask you questions you're not going to want to answer. And sometimes we've had to tell people, I've told them, look, I'm going to look in your medicine cabinet. So if there's anything I need to know, you need to tell me now. I just
Straight
want to
up.
rule out everything I possibly can. And there's no shame and embarrassment, but we have to determine if there's something that's really going on that's haunted, or if it's a different kind of issue in
Yeah.
order to keep ourselves safe. And I do not prefer to do residential. It's not saying that I wouldn't help someone if they needed it,
Right.
Right.
but it's a lot of follow-up, and it doesn't just end when that group comes to your house to investigate. They need to follow up with you to see if you're doing what they ask, to see if anything's slowed down. And some residential cases, I know that when I worked with for over a year, it's a big time investment, and I don't want to do it if I can't give that kind of time to it.
Mhm.
I agree 100%. I
same.
back with exactly what you said. And I will say this, when we talk about residential cases, I always add this on because we know that there's a lot of people out there who have issues with paranormal activity in their house. It scares them. They don't know what to think of it. If you are reaching out to local paranormal investigators or anybody to help you or anything like that, if they are saying, yeah, we can come out for this fee, turn away and run and go find
Turn
somebody
away.
else, because anybody worth a grain of salt in this industry and in this field is not going to charge you a dime if you are truly having issues with the paranormal.
Right.
They will come
I
out,
mean,
they
if
will
you-
take a look at your
Come
house,
out.
they will investigate, they will ask you questions just as we were saying, and they will not charge you for it if they're worth a grain of salt. I'm sorry, this is the way I'm going to say it. Now,
Absolutely.
some
And if they can't help you, they will refer you to someone who will.
that
That's
part.
right.
Mhm.
And if you want to buy them a pizza, great. They're grateful, but
Mhm.
they're there because they want to investigate and want to help you. They shouldn't be charging you a fee.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any underrated haunted locations you've been to? That's a good question. Thank you, Brian,
Ooh,
for that.
Underrated.
Oh,
Underrated.
There's a lot of underrated locations. If you just want to go straight up, Old Park's number one.
I'd
Until
say
I went to
so.
Old Park the first time, I'd never heard of it. Now we do our best to promote Old Park and get it out there because it is amazing.
Yeah.
There are so many places that we've been to. The one in Wichita, Kansas, that we went to.
Oh,
I can't remember the
Cowtown.
name.
Cowtown?
Cowtown.
Cowtown?
Cowtown. I had never
Yeah,
heard of
Cowtown was
Cowtown.
fun.
And that one we went to, and the amount of activity we were getting in some of them, like in the bank, got a lot of activity in the bank.
Mhm.
Not this was not even in the houses they said had the most activity. We were getting a lot of that one I had never heard of until I
Yeah.
went. So yeah, those are two I can think of right off the top of my head.
I would say one of my top one is going to be Old Park Hotel. Luckily, Old Park is a name that is starting to get more and more recognition, which I think is wonderful because of the location itself is fantastic. The spirits there are fantastic. And the owners, Chad and Leslie Waddell with Ghost Geeks, are fantastic. And the amount of love and work that they're putting into that location is making it a spectacular location. And I really do think that it is very underrated. I think it is one that not a lot of people talk about enough. And
Or
we have,
really know about.
yeah, we have captured full body apparitions on camera, on film, in photographs. We have captured full body apparitions. We have had poltergeist activity, phenomenal Estes methods, great spirit dissections, doors popping open and closing on themselves, physical touches, scratches, disembodied voices, large shadow. I'm trying to think of everything that we can think of at this location.
Name it. It happens
It
there.
is so underrated because I just don't think enough people are talking about it to get the name out there.
Right.
But it is slowly really starting to gain, especially
It's
now.
rising.
Especially now, because Chad and Leslie are doing fantastic with their social media platform and everything that they're throwing out there, and it's gaining a lot more recognition. So that is number one. Number two for me is going to have to be Gregg County Historical Museum.
Yeah.
Because that to me is a local museum in Longview, Texas that we happened to stumble upon thanks to a mutual friend between me and the director of that museum. And now we've been there, I think, 16 times. I think we're about to go our 17th time. And
Or
it's consistent as well. It consistently delivers wonderful evidence for us. And luckily we've built a very great rapport with the foundation and the museum and all of that stuff. So they allow us to hold public investigations 2 to 4 times a year. And that's the only time that they open it up for paranormal investigations is when we bring in a group. That's it. So that would be my 2 places for that.
We've earned their trust.
We've earned our keep.
Absolutely.
Ryan, underrated one for you?
Same thing, Old Park and Gregg County. Because Old Park, I remember when I first heard about Old Park Hotel, Shelley, you were trying to sell it to me, and I had never even heard of it.
I told you.
And the first time I was able to go in, I was like, oh my God, why is nobody, why is this not more well known? And like you said, now with Chad and Leslie doing the social media presence and people are starting to come in more, it's rising up on that list. And man, the sky's the limit for that place.
Absolutely.
And then Gregg County, because we've been able to get into it, and we are the only team that's able to get into that place. And some of the stuff we've caught in there, man, I mean, it's pretty damn cool. It's a pretty damn neat place. So
probably can wrap this question up. Has there been a terrifying residential investigation that you have done that was actually the paranormal? I would say out of the residential cases that we've done as a group, there was one out of all of the ones that we did that I would classify as paranormal, and it wasn't terrifying. No. It was, we just decided that it was something that was beyond us, and so we referred them out, and that's pretty much the wrap of that. I mean, there wasn't too much to that case itself. That was our last one that we did, though.
And there was something going on, but it was being brought there by someone else. So,
manipulated. To answer just a
real
quick question in the comments, it says Cowtown in New Jersey. No, Cowtown in Wichita, Kansas. That is where that location is at. Have you ever been to Dudleytown? No, we have not been to Dudleytown. Dudleytown you cannot go to anymore because it is part of a private estate. They do not allow you on there anymore.
What is Dudleytown? I've never even heard of it.
I actually think it's illegal.
I've heard of it, but
you go. There is an excellent almost expose on Dudleytown through a podcast. The Tape Library. I wanted to go the Tone State. The Tape Library did an excellent episode over Dudleytown. If you want to know more about it, definitely go figure out there. But ultimately, it's this place that was said to have been cursed. And now it's part, I believe, of a private estate that you cannot get. No. It's in the Northeast, I believe.
Oh, okay.
You cannot get on it. You cannot go to it. It's actually illegal to go to this location anymore. But in that podcast episode, spoiler alert, they basically dismantle the entire curse about the town. So, spoiler alert. Here's our last question. We got enough time for one more.
Is it funny?
No, it's actually somebody trying to figure out communication styles between abilities and stuff. Regarding medium abilities and spirit guides, what is a guaranteed sign that they are trying to communicate? I'm going to say that I don't know if I can give you something that would be a quote unquote guaranteed sign.
No, I'm getting hung up on that.
Yeah. I would say what you're going to want to do is, okay, here's my opinion. Everybody is born with spirit guides. You have different levels of spirit guides as well. That's the thing. You can have your spirit guides that you have the 1 or 2 or 3, depending on who you ask, 2 to 4, let's say, spirit guides that you're born with. Basically, they're assigned to you at birth. They follow you throughout your life, and they're the ones that guide you the most through your life.
And mine drink.
And then you have other guides up on top of that, and ancestral guides and all that kind of stuff. So I would say if you're curious at figuring out how your guides are specifically trying to communicate with you, communicate with them. Just tell them, I want to get to know you. If you could figure out how to, figure out different ways of like, show me what you're trying to show me. Tell me how to interpret what you're trying to tell me. For me personally, I have learned through just some of the medium classes that I've taken and mediumship and everything like that, practicing meditation, journaling, shadow work, everything that you can think of. When my right ear goes like, whatever, I guess ringing, I guess you could say. To me, it's more often than not spirit trying to get my attention. When my left ear goes ringing, that's a guide trying to get my attention. That comes from me doing all the readings that I've done, just walking around my house, and just being more attuned with my guides to help guide me on a daily process. So I think if you want to try to figure out a way that they're trying to communicate with you, you need to communicate with them. You need to ask them. How are they? You just get to know them. It's like getting to know a person. How are you trying to communicate me? What do you communicate with me? What do you want me to see? What do you want me to know? How are you doing that? And they will eventually show you. I promise you. And you will know. It will be a guaranteed no that is the guide trying to get you.
Yeah, mine refused to talk to me. It's a whole long ordeal.
Shelley's are actually on administrative leave until
they
things have been investigated further.
And depending on who I talk to, my pawpaw's with me, and then other people say there's nobody with me, so I don't know.
That's an excellent question, though. We don't get very many questions about mediumship abilities, so I'm glad that got popped in there. So I wanted to make sure we got to that. Oh my God, what a host of questions y'all did tonight. Holy crap, y'all ran the gamut. However, we didn't have really any alien or cryptid questions.
Oh, that's okay.
Do we have one? Do we have one at least?
I do. Actually, I wrote one down that I can ask y'all.
You wrote a question down?
I did.
Oh,
I
Lord.
did. We'll end on this one. If you had the choice to sleep with an alien, cryptid, or a ghost, which would you pick and why?
Dude, alien, call me Captain Kirk, motherfucker. I'm fucking going and cruising the galaxy.
Oh, an alien, a cryptid, or a ghost?
Mm-hmm.
Listen. You know what they say about big feet.
That they're a clown, yeah.
I'm just fucking kidding. No, I too would have to say alien. Take me cruising, damn it. I want to go fly around the fucking galaxy. Yeah.
Cruising for intergalactic.
Y'all are so gross.
Hey, but the probing is built in, my friend. The probing is built in. It's all good. Shelley, what, alien, cryptid, or ghost? What would you sleep with and why?
I don't really know the anatomy of an alien, so I don't know. A ghost, yeah, seems like there wouldn't be anything to run into.
Shelley's like, I don't feel anything. Is it in yet?
But a werewolf, child. Rawr. Yeah, okay, I'm going cryptid. Can it be a werewolf? Can I pick my cryptid?
That's a cryptid. I mean,
there we go. I guess I go Wolfman. Yeah, I kind of would have an idea of what I might be in for. I don't know. Wolfman? Yeah, maybe.
When you finally figure out that your friends are freaks, that's good.
I do like them furry.
You do. You do.
Like them furry.
You do. That's very true.
I've dated a few beasts in my life, so what's the big fucking difference?
Well, did y'all like how I decided to pull out such a very serious question for
Absolutely.
us?
I love that.
Think that is known. That is information that needs to be known. I'm going with alien all day, only because I wanna go fly Gak-Gak's UFO saucer. That's it. After we get done.
But it says that you have to have sex with them, and again, we don't know all the anatomy.
We don't.
What if What if they're...
I have put
That
out
is
for
a chance I am willing to take.
I have put out for 3 a.m. Taco Bell before. I'm not afraid of an alien,
But
whatever, so that I can
kink?
fly. So if I can fly Gak-Gak's UFO saucer.
It's not guaranteed you're going to get to fly the UFO.
Yes, I am. It's gonna be
it's not guaranteed.
It's gonna be in the handshake or foot shake or whatever the fuck they do. That I propose.
What if their form of sex is through the eyeball? Are you still in?
I'm gonna ask them if they can heal me afterwards. As long as you can heal me. I just want to fly the saucer. I just want to press the go. Come on, Gak-Gak. Get it up.
Again, Gak-Gak may just come down and hang out with you in the trees, and then Gak-Gak goes back wherever he came from, and then there you are with a bum eye for the rest of your life. No,
because see, here's the thing: is I'm gonna in the foot shake that takes place, I have to board the ship.
You can't trust him.
And then I get to fly, and then I get to fly Gak-Gak's ship, and then while we're in the cosmos, that's where we're gonna have sex, and he's gonna return me with a fixed eye back to Earth. I've already got it all planned out. I wrote it in my shadow work journal last night.
All right.
And with that, Blake, why don't you tell them everything they need to know? I think you already have. I'm uncomfortable.
I think I have.
Anyway,
I got Shelly to blush finally. Anyways, all right. We got a couple of announcements that we.
No, it's just heavier than usual tonight.
First off, thank y'all so much for all of your questions tonight. Y'all made this such a fun episode. I love when we get to do this. Y'all really showed out tonight for your list of questions. But if you want to support the show directly, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/EVP podcast. For just $5 a month, you'll unlock over 450 Patreon exclusive videos, including the pre and post broadcast, which are the 30 minutes before and the 30 minutes after this live broadcast. So you're getting an additional hour with us each week. Your support from this goes directly back to the show and towards the adventures that we bring you week after week. So if you're not sure about joining Patreon, try it risk-free with our 7-day free trial. Make sure you stay connected with us. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and many more by searching Everything Vaguely Paranormal and looking for the green sound wave. Remember, you can catch us live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. And if you'd like to meet us in person and come hang out, you do have, actually, your choices might be growing instead of dwindling.
Yeah.
Because breaking news, now that it's finally revealed, I am your mystery guest for the Equinox Expo in Joliet, Illinois on September the 20th. And the Bougie Blonde will be joining me as well. She will be up there.
I will not be camping.
No, she will not. I will be giving spirit readings all day long at the Equinox Expo. And tickets can be found at the Equinox Expo Facebook event through Deidre Sanford. On September 27th, we'll be in Independence, Missouri at the Masonic Temple with Epic VIP Events LLC with the Mysterious Mike and Sam for the Parathon with Johnny Hauser, Josh Hurd, Stephanie O'Reilly, and many more. That event is 18 and up, and tickets for that can be purchased online at Eventbrite through the Mysterious Mike and Sam. Then on October 18th, we will be partnering with the Gregg County Historical Museum in Longview, Texas to lead their annual Haunted Walk downtown, where we lead you around and tell you about the stories of why downtown Longview is so freaking haunted. And afterward, we will be leading an investigation on the inside of Gregg County Historical Museum, and tickets for that are going to be on sale soon, I believe next week. And we do have 2 more possible appearances in Texas that we will let you know about once we confirm all the details. So
Which contracts are signed?
Exactly. Make sure you subscribe to our Eventbrite page as well to be notified when public investigation tickets go on sale. We do have 2 tickets left available to the 2-night event at the Old Park Hotel on October 10th and 11th, 42 hours at Old Park Hotel, uninterrupted, where you get to investigate with us all weekend. And those probably will be sold out pretty quickly. So to make it all easier,
they're still there.
To make it all easier, we've added all these links to our link tree, which will be on the Everything Vaguely Paranormal Facebook and X profiles Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, or you can search linktr.ee/Everything Vaguely Paranormal. We are grateful for your continued support. Every like, comment, share, and download keeps the adventures alive. So if you have a favorite episode, share it with your friends. And one of the easiest things you can do to help out our show and its rankings, if you have a Spotify account, head over there and simply download our episodes. That is it. And leave us a review wherever you are listening from, too. If you have a story, comment, or question, or you would like to be a guest on the show or have us as guests on your show, email us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Go like, share, and subscribe to that YouTube channel and smash that thumbs up button for us.
Absolutely. Well, y'all, again, thank you so much for all of your questions tonight. Y'all made the episode happen tonight, so we are greatly appreciative of that. We thank y'all for joining us. Love your support. For myself, I am Blake Smith. For my partners in the paranormal, Miss Shelley Pruitt, Mr. Ryan Roberts, we love y'all. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.